Okay, hey there guys, I know it's been a minute since I've posted. I'm a little bit late to this war, but I'm just going to get right into it. So, we're up against TCN for the first war of the season's going to count, for your war score at least. Oh, there's a lot that's been happening that I missed, but I realized as I was dashing in for this, as like the fight screen is loading, that I forgot to turn on my screen record and do not disturb mode. This is just path 1, so this is the personal space regeneration and fury at 10 regens, but the regeneration is actually a buff, so with your mystic dispersion on, you're able to really go nuts if I let it trigger like a lot. Fortunately, it only triggers the 2 times, and here I'm just going to throw my SP2. Even though he gets his power gain, while the special's hitting him, if you notice, he stops gaining the power for those moments. And I was in no real worry of eating the SP3. Even if I did, I would survive with plenty of health left. So for this torch here, also, I missed putting on my boosts, but I did actually put on like actual boosts for this war because it's TCN. There's going to be a long talk at the end of this one because this war was crazy for watching the score. At this point, the score was like pretty good for us. We're like, oh, okay, this is like looking really good. So I missed that opening parry, but then mid-combo I get the parry, and I'm able to start getting my heavies on, and Archangel is great for this global if you couldn't tell already. Right there, I thought I was fast enough for my special one, but I guess I was a little bit too slow off after that first part of the heavy. I should have just used like a medium or something. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, Archangel is just absolutely amazing for this global. Right there, I knew the stun was going to be coming in, and I saw the intercept opening, so I went for both openings at once. Coming in here, I had to wait for that. I don't know if I went straight away. No, I did not. That's right. Because the boosts are now mostly done. I was out for a bit. Had some stuff to do. Come back. I got this Spider Ham in Path 4, Section 2. Which is a cool fight. I like this fight. It's a pretty easy fight with Nick Fury, and I also have another option for it now. But Nick Fury is very, very solid for this fight. What I decided to go for was, until I get him up to until I get my first bar of power, I'm just going to go for only light enders. And I should have actually thrown a medium right there, so that way I went over the SP1. And I get the taunt on me, so he does go unblockable, but I do still shrug off all 3 debuffs at once, so I also go unblockable there. For some reason, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think he's about to go, yeah, he goes very passive on his specials, and Spider-Ham's animations, in my opinion, are notorious. They just take up so much room, and I didn't want to risk pushing him over SP2, and he goes unblockable during that. But because of that, I end up dashing back slightly early on his animations, and now I'm up against the wall, and I decide I'm going to eat the Porker Popper, which was 13,000 damage. I think it looked like it said 6k and 7k at once. So I ate a little bit more damage than I wanted to, but I'm still in my first life of Nick Fury, so I still have a lot of health left to go in that fight, and that's the only fight I really needed him for this war. So this is the fight that goes downhill in this war. I've taken this fight before in like Battlegrounds with the same nodes with this setup here with like Doom versus Null. I think I've even done this fight in War before, and it was funny. Right there, I had a moment of hesitation of putting on a Power Start 1 and going in with Nick Fury, because with Nick Fury, if you do that, you just remove his debuffs, and you just parry heavy the whole fight, and you're good. So I end up just like, okay, I'll just put on a Power Back Boost with Doom, and I'll be fine. So the fight starts, I'm like, okay. And I immediately lose most of my indestructible boost. Perfect. I get the second intercept off. I was like, okay, that's good. He has a special, so I have to go for the light intercept there, which I was trying to be safe, so I was like holding block so my Doom doesn't walk forward. But thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have been holding my block while waiting for it, because it slows down your character a little bit to hold block. And I don't know, anytime Null throws his SP1, it doesn't matter how much I feel like I'm dashing, my character just ends up holding block and eating it, especially in this fight. And then he goes so passive until the very end. So I wasn't able to get off my SP1 during the corruption, so I have to go into reverse controls in a war fight. So I hit his block some to try to slow it down, but then he starts hitting me, which pauses it for a second, of course. And just immediately get hit again, because I'll never get out of unblockable because of the heal block. And right here, I thought he was going to dash in, but he doesn't. So he ends up dashing back and holding block. So now I don't even get the power back on my SP2, and that's where I actually get worried about this fight. So I'm able to use that heavy there to just give me some space, and it takes off a couple seconds of the corruption. And I land a reverse-controlled medium intercept, which, I don't know, I'm kind of proud of that. Reverse controls are still just annoying, and I dash in, and that was a really quick parry from an AI, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. He has his SP2, and he's unblockable, so I throw my SP2, and because of the power back boost, I actually get up to my SP1, which drains him just below an SP2. So now I'm able to chain back up to an SP2 off of an intercept, and in the end, right as I started playing confident again, is kind of when that fight went back into my favor, I feel like. And I should have been playing more aggressively for the intercepts. I shouldn't have been holding my block, waiting to try to do a light intercept. I should have been hitting his block and trying to get like backdrafts to bait those out. More stuff like that is what I should have been doing, but that's not what I ended up doing, and that was kind of an issue. As I said, at this point still, the war was pretty close against TCN. It was fairly low still from both sides, I think. Yeah, at most it was like 4-1 or 4-2. It wasn't like too crazy yet, so I'm putting on suicides. As you can see, I have like actual boosts going. As I said, I'm putting on an invul. And Sassy here, I don't heal because it's only like 1% health, and I don't have that many potions that small, so I get a very good 3 bleeds off of that, but getting no poison on a 3 bleed parry is really unlucky with Horseman on. Wait. Did I miss recording a fight? Oh, no, that's right. The Horseman is applied to this fight. I am dumb sometimes. I was like, where did I get this Horseman from? So, got the Horseman here, and that fight was so fast, so easy. Rank 4 Archangel with suicide things, just blitzing down one of the highest health pool champions in the entire game, making it look like an EQ fight, because you have on your suicides, you have on your boosts, you have Horsemen, and so you're just melting. I get a white mags for this fight, so this is the other fight that goes a little bit iffy, if I'm being 100% honest. And I showed it to some people right after it happened, and they were also saying it was some really bad RNG, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about in just a second. So I have on the invul because it's kind of the best boost for Archangel. So what I'm going to do here is the white mags makes it so she doesn't purify my parry, and I get a single bleed up. Or no, actually I get 2 bleeds, but 1 gets purified. Like, cool. No poison, 1 bleed. So now, and then it triggers her glance. So it gives her the glancing. It doesn't give the I don't get any other bleed, so it gives her power. She also has the glancing going. The, what's it called, just reset, and I can't trigger any bleeds while glancing is up, even though Archangel's immune to ability accuracy reduction that doesn't bypass glancing for some stupid reason. And it's going to happen again. Parry, 1 bleed. I'm like, okay, I have poisons. And then she gets the glance again. She gets the glance again. But now, this is where an error is definitely on my part. So the special that I'm basically giving her because of her power gain and the bleeds, I should have gone for a parry earlier to try to trigger an extra poison during that. And that poison gets conflicted off. But right here is where I'm able to get the fight under control. With 4 bleeds, she has no purifiability accuracy. And now with the neurotoxins, there's no chance. 7 neuros. Okay. That opening still just had me so annoyed because I'm like, no, not to a Cersei. This isn't going to happen, right? Not like this. So here's the score, and that's why I said there's a lot that happened. So, where to start? They died a couple times early, and like one of our best players had a very uncharacteristic death super early in the war, like first or second fight. Really rare. Then we had like another death, and it was fine. But then all of a sudden, I'm chilling after my war fights. I was chilling with some of my friends. A lot of them are in GT40 as well, or just some other alliances. We're just like playing a game. We're just talking. And then all of a sudden, the one guy's like, "Oh, another one of our best players just died." And our deaths weren't too bad. We were at like 2, as I said, or something like that. And it's like, oh, shoot, that sucks. Then, 5 seconds later, he died again. What? He double KOs because he doesn't end up reviving the proper champion for the next fight. So he dies there, then goes on a tirade at the officers. Yeah, attacked the officers, kinda. Was calling them out and stuff, even though some of them stayed up until like 2 a.m. to plan the war for them, and the plans were fine, just as a side note. So then he left mid-war when he still had Section 2, and then people, because of that, at first, we thought, well, the war's just straight over. Just done, we can't fully explore, season's over, rip GT40. Those officers come back in at like, I don't even want to know the time they decided to do this at, and they reset Section 2, so that way we would 100% it. And so we ended up 100%ing the map, but we had a couple extra deaths than we normally would because some of the people, as I said, like early on, didn't like 100% focus, and some people were really mad at the guy for leaving and for just the whole situation. And then we had extra deaths from like having to swap around the paths and stuff, but so it was like 10-4. They had a 6-death lead on us, but the thing was, it was actually looking like we were going to win on time this time, and as you can see, we ended up winning on time, which was really weird because our last war against TCN, we actually lost on time because they can be very, very fast with their very big rosters and a lot of boosts and all of that. But they had a lot of quakes this time and stuff, so for some reason we actually ended up, we're like, oh, actually I think we're going to have the advantage on time. And we're like, but there's no way they're going to die that many times. And so now all of a sudden it's just like, they died the 5 times while I was asleep or something, I think. And then in the morning, it was just all of a sudden like, okay, wait. It's now like 10-10. Huh? And then, or no, it was like 9-9. And then I think we had like one really late death. It was, again, one of our better players. A lot of our better players died this war for some reason. His phone like crashed. His game just died. It froze and like it killed him. It happens. And it gave us our 10th death, and we're just like, oh, well, that's probably it. And like a couple minutes later, they had their 9th death. We're like, what? Then they had like their 10th death. It's like, oh, okay. And that basically won us it, assuming we didn't die. And they had their 11th death, and we're like, and now we have a 1-death cushion as well. And we somehow clutched out this war. And the whole point of that is basically just massive like kudos to the officers and everyone in GT40 for pulling that one through. Great game to TCN. It was a lot of fun going up against them. There are some really funny guys in there, and we all had a good laugh in the chat about it, just like what our guy did and then how they ended up playing. It was a whole funny situation, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, so overall, it was just an absolutely crazy war. It was very intense. Even with the very high deaths, it was really funny to be there for some of them. It was just crazy, man. There's no other way to really put that. Again, massive GG to TCN. Hopefully they have a good season. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Hopefully I can get out some videos tomorrow. Bye.